Hello everyone, and welcome to our sleep lecture channel. Tonight we're going to explore a story, a gentle tale to help you drift off to sleep. So, find a comfortable position, close your eyes, and allow your body to relax. Let the weight of the day melt away as you listen to my voice. Our story tonight centers on a single object, an old, ornate mirror. It wasn't always old, of course. It was once new, forged with care, its silvered glass polished to a perfect, flawless shine. It was framed in dark, heavy wood, carved with intricate patterns of winding vines and tiny sleeping flowers. For many years, it hung in a quiet, sunlit room, reflecting the simple, happy moments of a family's life. It saw children growing, seasons changing, and the gentle rhythm of daily existence. It reflected laughter, quiet conversations, and the warm glow of lamplight in the evenings. The mirror was just a mirror, a silent observer holding reflections for only a moment before letting them go. As decades passed, the house changed hands. The mirror remained a constant fixture on the wall. New faces appeared in its reflection, each with their own stories, their own joys and sorrows. The mirror saw fashion change, from long dresses to shorter skirts, from formal hats to casual hairstyles. It reflected the world outside the window, watching as horse-drawn carriages were replaced by motor cars, and gas lamps gave way to electric lights. Through it all, the mirror simply reflected what was before it without judgment, without memory. It was a passive witness to the endless stream of life. The once vibrant wood of the frame began to darken with age. The silvering on the glass started to develop small cloudy imperfections around the edges, like mist creeping in from the corners. The reflections it showed were no longer perfectly crisp. They seemed a little softer, a little more distant. It was during this time that people began to notice something peculiar. They would catch a fleeting movement in their peripheral vision, a shadow that wasn't there, or a flicker of light from a non-existent source. They would dismiss it, of course, as a trick of the light, a figment of a tired mind. The stories began as whispers, shared in hushed tones. A guest staying in the room might mention seeing a face in the mirror that wasn't their own, just for a second, superimposed over their reflection. It was always a vague impression, the shape of a jawline, the shadow of an eye, a hint of a smile. It was never clear, never frightening, just there. Another person might speak of hearing a faint sound when looking into the mirror, like the distant echo of a music box or the soft rustle of a silk dress. These experiences were so subtle, so brief, that they were easily explained away. The mind plays tricks, after all, especially in a quiet, old house. The house grew older, and the room with the mirror was eventually used less and less. It became a storage room, filled with forgotten furniture and covered in dust sheets. The mirror hung on the wall, its surface coated in a fine layer of gray dust, its reflections muted and dim. For a long, long time it reflected nothing but the opposite wall and the ghostly shapes of draped furniture. The house was quiet. The world outside continued to rush forward, but within that room, time seemed to slow down, to pool around the silent, waiting mirror. One day, many years later, a young woman bought the house, determined to restore it to its former glory. She was an artist and she fell in love with the building's character and history. When she discovered the dusty room, she saw not forgotten junk, but hidden potential. She cleared out the old furniture and pulled the dust sheets away. And there, on the wall, was the mirror. She carefully cleaned its surface, wiping away the years of accumulated dust. As the glass became clear again, she was captivated by the beautifully carved frame. She decided the mirror would be the centerpiece of her new studio. As she worked in her studio, the mirror was her constant companion. It reflected her as she painted, the colorful daubs on her palette, the slow transformation of blank canvases into vibrant landscapes. She was a solitary person and enjoyed the quiet companionship of the old house. Sometimes, while lost in her work, she would glance up and think she saw a brief change in her reflection. Perhaps her hair seemed a different color for a split second, or the expression on her reflected face was one she didn't recognize. She thought it was just her imagination, fueled by long hours of focus, One evening, as twilight settled and the room filled with soft purple shadows, she was cleaning her brushes. She looked into the mirror and saw her own tired reflection looking back. But then, for a lingering moment, the reflection changed. It was another woman, wearing a dress from a bygone era. The woman's face was serene, and she offered a gentle, reassuring smile. There was no sound, no sudden movement. The image was as calm and quiet as the room itself. It lasted only a few seconds before her own reflection returned, but the artist wasn't scared. She felt a strange sense of peace, a feeling of connection to the past. She started to think of the mirror not as haunted, but as a keeper of memories. It had reflected so many lives, so many moments, that perhaps, once in a while, it gently replayed one. She began to look forward to these quiet visitations. Sometimes she would see a child playing with a wooden toy, a young couple dancing silently, or an elderly man reading a book by the window. These reflections were like old photographs, faded and silent, but filled with a gentle, nostalgic warmth. They never interacted with her. They were simply echoes of a time long past, held within the silvered glass. The artist came to see the mirror as a source of inspiration. The fleeting images gave her ideas for her paintings. She painted the woman with the serene smile, the child with the wooden toy, the dancing couple. Her art took on a new depth, a sense of history and story that it hadn't had before. People were drawn to her work, to the feeling of gentle melancholy and timelessness it evoked. The mirror, once a source of whispered, uneasy stories, had become a muse. Tonight, as you lie in your bed, imagine a mirror in your mind. Not a haunted one, but a peaceful one. A mirror that reflects all the good and quiet moments of your life. See it reflecting your favorite places, the faces of people you love, the feeling of a warm, sunny day. Let these gentle reflections float through your mind. These are your memories, your stories. Like the old mirror, your mind holds on to these moments. Let them come and go, like soft clouds drifting across a clear sky. There's nothing to fear, nothing to hold on to, just a calm, quiet procession of gentle thoughts. As you breathe in, imagine you are breathing in peace and quiet. As you breathe out, imagine you are releasing all the tension and worries of the day. Each breath makes you feel heavier, more relaxed, sinking deeper into the comfort of your bed. The story of the mirror is just that, a story, a quiet tale to occupy your mind as your body prepares for rest. Let the images fade, let the words dissolve. All that is left is the gentle rhythm of your own breathing and the feeling of deep, profound relaxation. Your journey to sleep is almost complete. Allow yourself to let go. There is nothing else you need to do, nowhere else you need to be. Just rest. Sleep now. Good night.